Good morning and welcome to day 4. It's first thing in the morning and I thought I would get a start on some homemade yogurt. So last night, because of this milk surplus, which I'm so grateful for, it's one of nature's perfect foods, of course. Anyway, I prepped the yogurt last night, so you got to bring the milk up to temperature just before boiling, like where it's rippling on the surface, and then let it cool until you can stick your finger in for 10 seconds. I don't know what temperature that is, I'm just used to it. And then inoculate it with some active yogurt, which I just keep in the fridge. Where else would you keep it? Anyway, it's early in the morning. And then I just put it in the Instant Pot overnight. And now it's time to strain it. Tucker eating Charlie's breakfast. Yum, hey? And Charlie's inside the garage safely consuming Tucker's breakfast. I'm not really sure why they got it backwards today, but whatever. So the dog, there's one, Charlie. So Charlie and Tucker have come with some challenges. There's like the normal challenges, which is the whole brotherly dominance thing. So Tucker, the way the order works is Chili first, then Tucker, there he is, and then Charlie's at the bottom. Charlie was the run, so he's kind of used to it, but it doesn't mean your heart doesn't ache a little bit when he never gets any of the good stuff first. Never. He's not allowed. So anyway, that's why it was so funny this morning, because normally what I do is I feed Tilly and Tucker in the garage and I keep the door locked, and then I feed Charlie outside, and that way Charlie gets to eat a full meal without Tucker stealing it. And if you see them side by side, you'll see Tucker's quite a bit bigger. So that works. Anyway, they did eat separately and Charlie did eat a whole meal. But what happened, well, it started last summer, I guess. I mean, Charlie's always been cagey, and I've always been just a little worried about him. Like, you can't always pet him. He's certainly not he's not mean, but he's not a friendly dog. He won't go up to people and pet me. He's just, watches them, and you always wonder a little bit, like, what's he thinking? Anyway, last summer, I'm not sure I told you this story before, but last summer they were out here on the Lease Road, which is behind our place, and that's where they walk, and I've taught them that that's their territory. And one of the lease operators was driving too fast, in my opinion, and he hit Charlie. He hit Charlie in the face. So at first I thought he was okay, but as the day wore on, it was very apparent that he wasn't. And so, of course, it's the weekend. These things always happen on the weekend. Called the vet, and they were able to send a vet out because I can't get Charlie in the car. I've tried to train him. There's no way he's not getting in the car. They say, oh, put him in a stock trailer. Well, at that point, we didn't have one. And to be honest, he wouldn't have gone in that either. So the vet came out, and he was pretty mean. He didn't bite anybody. He was also really feeling, oh, sorry, I'll beep that out. He was really feeling yucky. So she was able to get a muzzle on him and sedate him and bring him to the clinic. They were able to do a surgery on him. And then for some reason, vets always like to reverse the sedation when you're going to take the dog home. I said, don't do that. I'll never get him in the car. So we had to wrap him in blankets, and he was still kind of half sedated. And it took like 2 vet techs and me to get him in the car. And that was the last time Charlie ever went in a car. So then, button came unbuttoned. So then a couple weeks later, they found a porcupine. And Tilly had about 100 quills in her face. And so did Tucker and Charlie. No, sorry, so did Charlie. And Tucker had maybe half of that. So I think what happened was we were able to wrestle Tilly and get the quills out ourselves. And then we had the vet come out again. And at this point, hi, bud. There's Tucker. At this point, the vet's like, we're not coming out again. Like, you need to figure out a way to get your dogs to the clinic. I said, oh, well, I can't get them in the car. So I don't know what to tell you. I'll pay the extra, but I need you to come out. So anyway, the vet was able to sedate both of them and pull all the quills out. But Charlie was getting more aggressive. So he felt cornered, and he didn't bite anyone, but he was pretty growly and snarly and nasty. And then a couple weeks later, same freaking porcupine, I'm sure. Aaron was out every night trying to kill it. Couldn't find this porcupine, but somehow the dogs did. So they got quills again. Luckily, nope, sorry, that's not that time. There's one more time after that. So they got quills again, and this time the vet came out, and Charlie was horrible, nasty. He bit Aaron, he bit the vet, and the vet said, I'm definitely not coming out again. I said, totally get it. He's like, do you want me to put him down? And Aaron said, let me ask my wife. And I was busy and didn't answer the phone. So at that point, Aaron was pretty upset because he'd just been bit and we don't feel the dog is safe. So he was pretty convinced that was the right thing to do, but because he wanted my consent, he was worried I'd be really upset if he just did that without talking to me. He let it go. And then 2 weeks later, they got quills again, but luckily Charlie only had like maybe 10 in his face at this time. So we definitely could not get close to him. We're gonna turn around, Tilly, come on. We could not get close to him. We couldn't call the vet. But what we could do is if he was like not in an enclosed area, not feeling threatened, you could kind of like, here, let's show him. You could sneak around like this, and give him a little pet, and then boop, pull one out. So it took about a week to get 10 quills out of his face, and he did not trust us. So since then, come on, boys. Since then, Charlie's been more cagey. You do not want to do anything with him in a situation where he's in an enclosed space ever. Like, even the vets were nice enough to give me some of their shots because I can't bring them in. So to give them their shots, I spent like 2 weeks doing this. Squish, 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 pulling up your skin. Yeah, you like it. You like it. Getting them used to, and then poking them and, you know, pretending it was a shot so that I could actually do it. And I got their shots in. But Tucker's fine. Tucker's not the issue. Although he won't get in a car either. But Charlie, anyway, lately, like whenever he's so happy right now. What a nice guy. But he's often sore. And I think that his teeth and his jaw bug him still. His nails are too long. I can't trim them. The other two, for some reason, their nails are fine, but Charlie's no. So I think his feet hurt him. I think his jaw hurts him. And depends on his mood. Sometimes lately I've been petting him and he'll just snap at me. So it really makes me nervous because in my family, okay, this could be a long one. When I was about 6, maybe 7, maybe younger than that, I don't know. Anyway, we were visiting some friends on their farm, and they had a farm dog that had been a rescue off the res. And recently, that dog had bit their son. So there were 4 of us kids there, and the owners were like, well, he's fine, he's fine. So we all just went about our business. Now, this was in Manitoba, and this must have been June, maybe, whenever the frogs are aplenty. There were so many frogs, and we were having a grand time catching frogs and holding frogs and then letting them go and catching them again. And my little brother, who was probably only 3 or 4, was holding a frog. And this dog, I was right there, jumped at him and started biting up his face, like mauling him. And I didn't know what to do. I was just a little kid. He was suffering. He was getting chewed up. And finally, one of the adults came and pulled the dog off. And my brother got rushed to the hospital and he had 20 stitches in his face. So, by keeping Charlie around, even though most of the time he's a nice guy, am I putting somebody else at risk for that? Sorry. For that same scenario. I couldn't do that to somebody. Sorry. We thought about finding another home for him. But the problem is he could hurt somebody else. And I would still feel responsible. But we can't take him to the vet for a humane end with euthanasia. So I think the neighbor's gonna come out and help us with that. So I'm sorry if that bothers anybody. It bothers me. But sometimes doing the best thing isn't the easy thing to do. But you have to do the right thing. Whew, that was intense. I just had my coaching call and we talked about Charlie. And she said a lot of things that made me think. But there were a lot of things. I don't know if I can sum it up with just one, but basically it's the idea that animals are here to serve us. Not in a like we have dominion over them and they need to do what we ask and we can do whatever we want and they should just obey. Not in that sense. They're here to serve us as teachers. And they teach us about ourselves. They teach us what we need. And they give us a kind of animal medicine. So dogs, I think, and if you are a dog lover, you probably agree, dogs are there because they literally show you unconditional love 24/7. You could, dogs just love you no matter what. And that is their medicine. And cats have a different kind of medicine, I have cats, but they're definitely my husband's animal and they give him exactly what he needs. When he comes home from a hard day, he never complains. He just says, I'm fine. And when we had 3 cats, all 3 of them would be on him purring away, giving him what he needed to fill back up. Horse medicine, same thing with my daughter. She needs her horse. That's the exact right medicine for her. The horse challenges her, teaches her, guides her, and loves her. So animals give you exactly what you need. And in the case of Charlie, he came into existence knowing that I was going to pick him out of a group of puppies because he followed us along, and he had already picked a puppy, but Charlie kept following us, and I thought he wanted to come with us too, and honestly probably did have a better life here than he would have where we got him from. They had like a lot of puppies, too many puppies. It was kind of like a puppy mill situation, which I didn't know going into it. The whole thing was a bit sketchy, so it was good to give him the love and support he needed. He was a runt, he was always being picked on, and here he had more space, definitely a lot of love, and he taught me a lot too. So we came up with a saying, because animals teach you how to love, and then they teach you how to let go, because you know you're going to outlive them. So it's better to have loved and lost, and then opened your heart to love again. That's the magic. Don't harden your heart. Don't calcify. Don't get angry. Don't hide behind the hurt. Appreciate the love instead, and stay open to love again. Right, I'm on my way to all these arrows, which won't make sense to you, but those are all the gates I have to check out back, because the cattle have arrived at my in-laws, and we want to make sure that they don't get into places they shouldn't go. And on my way, I will open up the greenhouse, make sure nothing is suffocating in there, and then I can hear thunder, so this ought to be interesting. It looks beautiful out, but it's thundering, so we'll see how it goes. I did manage to get the cabbage and the cauliflower from the greenhouse planted. This is, let's see if you can see my finger. Whoop, there we go, pointing at it. Ground cover and row cover. That is the best way to grow these plants here. There are, oh, what are they called? Do you like our crop of dandelions? Also, it's so tall back here. This is supposed to be lawn, but it's been raining, so we can't cut it. So it's more like a jungle. Anyway, these root maggots, and they're flies, and then they lay their eggs in the ground, and oh, dust bath. They're having a dust bath in the compost. So cute. Oh, they're happy, and it keeps the mites away. Anyway, these root maggots, you gotta keep the ground and the surface covered, and then you have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cabbage without worms. Oh my gosh, look. I'm just trying to untangle him. He's got an old barbed wire caught around his leg. Well, his leg is okay. I checked it over and there was a little bit of blood, but there doesn't seem to be any gaping wound or anything. That was kind of magical. It's so funny that we were talking about animal magic today, because Missy totally told me that Fudge was in distress. She came up to me and she was acting really funny, and she was kind of pawing her legs and swishing her tail a bunch, and I thought the flies were bothering her. That's what I guess. Whoop, hang on, I'm gonna get a tree in the face. There we go. Oh, this way. Yeah, there you go. But no, she was totally telling me that Fudge had a problem with his leg. And then she showed me where he was. And it was magical, and so freaking lucky that I went out at that time, because I'm pretty, oh, hang on. So, I don't know, he might have been caught up for an hour or two, at most, I think. Thank God. And that, I'll show you a picture of it. That barbed wire was so old that a tree had grown right through it. Oh, hang on, he's still not listening. This way? Okay. We're still working on it. Fudge and I are both learning. He actually has been trained. It's me who's learning a little more than him what to do. Oh, there's one, but it didn't fall on a fence, so we're okay. So far the fence looks good. And we'll go and check the gates. So what a day for animals, huh? Wow. There. That's the last gate closed. And Fudgy had a little snack while I did that. I think it might be time to head back though. Those clouds are coming in. What do you think? Well, Fudge made it back before the rain. He's in the pen now with the shelter, and here is that pesky old piece of barbed wire that got caught on his leg. So I'm going to cut that so that it never happens again. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Probably not. I'll put this down. There. And take that to the dump. Well, the horses stayed dry, but I didn't. Luckily, what that means is that the horses are safe from the big bad old barbed wire to live another day. Oh wow, that's really good. So we are currently loading horses. We've got 2 loaded and we got 1 more to go. Taking them to the farrier, which is a pedicure for a horse. And horses need these foot treatments every, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks or so. And normally he comes to our house, so I thought it would be real easy, but he didn't want to be in the rain, although as you can see it's not raining now, which meant we needed to wait for the truck to come home. Then we needed to load the trailer. Then we needed to air the tire up. Then we needed to drive it back and load the horses. Then drive to Leela's friend, load her horse, catch her actually, and that's what she's doing now. Then load it. Hello. Hi. 1, 2. Hi, miss. She's all wet. Aww. Yep. And 1 more to go. Oop. I think I'm going to sign off here for today. Finished with the farrier, get everybody hauled home, park the trailer. That means backing it up, which is still a challenge. And yeah, I will see you again tomorrow. I just want to sit on the couch and do a little knitting. It's been a slice. See you tomorrow. Bye.